Hey guys, and welcome back to the Emerald Coast. Hey, there has been all kinds of happenings since we were last together. But the most notable is that we have now moved into our 5th game year here on the Emerald Coast. I have to say I've got some news to share, some not so exciting news to share, and some more interesting news to share related to the goings on here around the farm. First off, I want to apologize for being gone for so long. I know there's some folks that have been watching the series, watching the video entries, and have really been enjoying them. And then we go and say, hey, we'll be back in a week. Because it's going to take me about a week to haul the hay up to Hazard County. We got that done. We hauled the hay back up to Hazard County. No issues there. Put all kinds of miles on the truck. It's okay. That's what it's built for. And then we get back here. And lo and behold, my brother Daryl, one down here at the arable farm, the horse farm, he goes and burns his house down. That's right, you heard it right. He goes and burns his house down, frying a turkey for Thanksgiving. I'll tell you, I don't even know why I clean that tank. It's dirty already. Man, it's worse than painting something black. Any rate, let me tell you the story about how Daryl burned his house down. It is a doozy of a story, I tell you. All started a few years ago. Me and the wife, well, we go to have Thanksgiving with her family. And, well, it wasn't Hazard County, Georgia, but it was Georgia, nonetheless. So we go up to Georgia, and her brother goes and fixes sells fried turkey. And my wife, she loved that fried turkey. Comments every time she sees a turkey in the store, every Thanksgiving, every Christmas, and you know what, just about any other holiday, about how she loved that fried turkey. How she never had a turkey better than that fried turkey. Well, Daryl's wife goes and hears this story once, and she picks up on that and she won't let it go. All she is talking about is how my wife talks about how wonderful that fried turkey was that her brother cooked for her that one Thanksgiving. She just won't leave it be, won't leave Daryl be about how she wants to have a fried turkey one year. He goes out and buys himself a turkey fryer. He has himself absolutely no idea what on earth he's doing with it. I tell him, I say, Daryl, if you're going to be frying a turkey, you need to listen to some advice. You need to watch some videos. You need to read some pamphlets. Talk to the fire department. Something. Because that's quite dangerous. Well, you know, he manned up and said, I got this. Don't worry about it. Daryl, this is not a good idea. This is literally playing with fire. You don't want to be playing with fire. Well, this is how it goes. So Daryl goes out, gets himself the fryer, like I said. Buys himself some turkey, some ungodly sized turkey. I don't know. I think the thing was like 20 pounds. And on the pot clearly states, don't use a turkey greater than 12 pounds. Well, again, Daryl's having none of that. He knows exactly what he's doing. So he also goes out, gets himself 5 gallons of oil. He's going to use 5 gallons of peanut oil in this pot, this 20-pound turkey. I said, Daryl, you need to measure. You need to figure out how to measure that that pot. You know how much oil needs to go into that turkey, or into that pot, that size turkey. He says, I don't have none of that. I got this. I know exactly what I'm doing. Right, well, all right. He goes and puts that whole 5 gallon of oil in to that pot. Then he did at least hear something, because apparently he brined the turkey the day before, soaked it in some type of sugar salt water mixture. Well, but he didn't quite read the directions, I don't think, because the directions I read said you need to dry that turkey off, inside and out. Well, he goes and pulls this turkey out of this cooler, out of this giant drink cooler that he soaked it in, and he just dumps it, like just completely drops it into the pot. The pot already had way too much oil in it to begin with. Then to go and drop this wet, cold turkey in it, you can imagine what happened. Imagine what happened next. Oil in that pot just exploded out. Just flew all over the place once that cold, wet turkey hit that hot oil. And that water vapor just instantly went to steam. Huge plume of oil. Of course, how do you get that oil hot? Well, you got to yourselves this giant propane burner underneath that pot, just spewing out a huge flame. Well, needless to say, something else Daryl did wrong is he went and had that pot right beside the house. Right beside the house. I said, Daryl, you need to put it out there in the drive. You don't need to be frying all that hot oil right next to the house like that. Once that oil hit that flame, lit up like a Roman candle. It wasn't but a matter of a few moments before that house was on fire. We called the 911. Fire department came out, and by that point, the only thing they could do is contain it, control it, keep it from jumping over to the trees, and keep it out of the horse barn. Basically just controlled it and let it burn all the way. It was too far gone at that point. So they now live in a green on green single wide trailer. I think they're going to be in that trailer for quite a while. Fighting with the insurance company. Insurance company saying that they're not going to cover the full value of everything that was in the house. They're going to have to work through that problem. We had, that was, I tell you, that was something to behold. I think everyone involved is going to just shut their trap about frying turkeys from this point forward. I think our poplar's getting there. Almost ready. It's been about a year in the making there. Just some slow poplar. Ourselves kind of a wet winter. You can kind of see the mud all down on this road. We need to watch ourselves. Tell you, the weeds aren't having any problem coming up. Have to check on our milk. To haul that milk load down to the dairy here in a little bit. Let's check our chickens. We're gonna have to tend to our pigs here in a little bit. The moral of the story, guys, is if you're ever going to be in a position to fry a turkey, careful. It's some dangerous stuff. Right. It's turned off. These guys are thirsty. I don't really know why they seem to end up drinking more out of this one than that other one. I don't know, maybe they're lazy. Hard to say. It's pretty good for me. How's the straw doing? I think they're going to need some more bedding. Hooked up here. I think we're just going to put 2 straw bales into this. We already have a little bit of straw in there. Go. This mixed up. And to bring it around here to our cows. So what have you guys been up to? Let me know in the comments. How are you enjoying now that Emerald Coast version 3.0 with dynamic mud has been released? If you weren't aware of that, you can go over to nexusmods.com and get the update. It's obviously what we are running here. I had to make up the story about Daryl losing his house because, well, I didn't like the farmhouse over there at the horse farm. So I had forgotten that I had gone in Giants Editor and replaced that house. So when I updated the map to the version 3.0, well, the house that comes with it wasn't there because it wasn't in my items file. And the house that I placed there wasn't there because, well, a different version of the map. So, well, that kind of left us without a farmhouse. So I put down the trailer, and that's pretty much what Daryl's going to have to live in the next bit of time. I guess I should check and see how the sheep are doing. Good. Chickens are good. Alright, let's go. We gotta get these beef cattle some more water. Top up the pigs. I tell you, this is actually, I'm kind of out of practice with this recorded video stuff. This is my second time recording this video. That is because the first time I got about halfway done the video, about halfway to where I wanted to be with it, and I looked over at my recording software and I saw that I was not recording a single bit of game audio. So scrap that. I scrapped that copy, and instead of reverting the game save and starting all over again, I decided that I was just going to basically pick up where I left off. I had all kinds of stories with respect to how things were a little bit different. Good. Water valves are in a slightly different spot than they were last time. That is because I put most of these water spouts in a Giants Editor, and of course swapped out the map. Well, spouts swapped out with it. Alright, we're going to have to put this thing in 4-wheel drive. See if that works. There we go. Alright, now we got moving. That is something that you're going to run into playing this map with mud. Is that well, you don't always get out without maybe a little bit of assistance, because the mud is pretty treacherous. These got updated, and as a result, we now have sugar beets in all of these. I had a nice story all set up, told the story and everything, but total loss because it wasn't recording any game audio. Basically, what's going on there is we had a local farmer one town over had himself a bumper of a crop of sugar beets. So much to the point where he didn't want to see another beet. We offered the buildings. We said, hey, we got 3 buildings. We can put all kinds of sugar beets in to store them. And basically what he heard was, we've got 3 big buildings. Bring all the sugar beets you want and give them to us. So we now have a whole boatload of sugar beets, which is rather convenient because, well, we'll be able to use that to make our pre-compost. Just need to see how much straw we have left over. Let's get thick and deep. You know, hunt down the semi. See how much milk we got. Another big long bales of silage here. I'll tell you guys, it is good to be back on Emerald Coast. Good to be doing recorded videos again. This video should drop Wednesday, the day before Thanksgiving. Give you guys plenty of time to get good advice on how not to burn your house down with frying a turkey. There you can see his green on green trailer. We're going to be living in for quite a while. Lost their house, they lost their carport shed there in the fire. Did kind of a number on the grass too. Like I said, this video should drop on Wednesday before Thanksgiving. Hope you guys have a good Thanksgiving. Safe travels for everyone that is having to travel. And we are going to try in the coming weeks to get back to some semblance of a normal schedule for Emerald Coast. Nebraska lands has dropped. That was one of the reasons we stopped doing the recorded videos. Is we had several maps that we were testing for folks, and basically I put all kinds of effort and resources into that. And Nebraska lands is now out, so that was a big one that was occupying some of our time. So that is good news for everybody. That seems to have been received very, very well. With a whole boatload of downloads in the first 24 hours, which is really great. It's completely useless. I don't know how much this truck holds. Looks like it's going to take about all of it. There we go. Just about all of it. So another map that we were testing was Slovak Village. Almost forgot the name of that one for a little bit. Well, Slovak Village has had a bit of a rough time with the Giants mod hub. And I know, folks, probably a day doesn't go by that someone doesn't put a comment in some video asking about status updates. And I have to tell you guys, if I don't give you a status update, that means there isn't a status update to give. Probably be pretty tired of me posting every day. There's no new news. So that's why pretty much there isn't any new news, other than that the map author is working through the suggested required changes as requested or required by Giants for the map to go on the mod hub. Seems to be some changes afoot with respect to Giants requirements for mod textures, and well, his map has been caught out. Maybe like a kind of caught in the middle, if you will. Gonna make this turn. There we go. Kind of a sharp turn. It's been kind of caught out, if you will, with respect to Giants testing. In that probably if he had submitted the map, PGA coming along quite nicely, I must say. That had he submitted the map maybe as early as 3 or 4 weeks, or maybe a month earlier, that some of these hoops he's having to jump through may not have been hoops. Said it looks like Giants has changed the rules midstream, if you will, on what they are requiring. Even caught out our good friend of the channel, GTX, with a mod update that he had put in for a mod that was previously released in the mod hub. Basically, Giants has decided that they do not want mods to directly reference the texture arrays of the Ravenport or Felsburn maps directly. So, I think I am saying that phrasing correctly. Basically, there appears to be a performance hit on lower end systems, possibly, with respect to when several mods reference the texture arrays from the two base maps. So Slovak Village happened to be referencing both texture arrays from both maps, and that is pretty much one of the factors that caught him out, was referencing both maps' texture arrays. They were basically like, you need to reference one or the other, but you can't reference both. So he's using map buildings from both maps. So in order to do that, needs to basically take out the buildings from one of the two base maps and replace it with other buildings. Well, then later, apparently Giants had a realization that even if the map only references one of the two texture arrays, what if a mod on that map is referencing the other array? Don't you now have the same performance problems you had with a map referencing both? So again, I might not be speaking to this 100% correctly, but basically then Giants has changed their recommendation, request, requirements, whatever you want to call it, to basically say that they don't want anyone referencing either map array directly. The way I understand it, that's what caught our good friend GTX out with his chicken hut, the mod that we just put our chicken crate into. He was basically referencing the Ravenport texture array for the building textures, and basically they kicked it back and said you can't do that. Well, that wasn't a problem when the mod first came out because he was doing it back then, but now it's an issue. I think it's an issue that lots of folks are having to deal with on either mod updates or new submissions to the mod hub, and that's basically what the map author for Slovak Village is having to work through. Really wants it on the mod hub because of the visibility of that platform. I have to say, maybe at some point he will decide that the visibility of the mod hub isn't worth the hassle of the mod hub. But that is for him to decide, not for anyone else to recommend or suggest, because we have to respect the modder's wishes. And if that means that we have to wait a few more weeks to be able to get to the map, then that's how it will work. So guys, our time is up for the day. Thank you for coming out and watching. Like I said, we are going to try our absolute best to get back into a regular routine with respect to the production of the pre-recorded Emerald Coast series. And until next time, happy farming. Be sure to like, subscribe, and click that notification bell.